What is a made-up issue that only terminally online people care about? What's the most hated fictional character of all time? What future celebrity death is going to hurt you the most? Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. The world will be a little less gentler and bright without their friendship in it. David Attenborough. Nature documentaries would never be the same. Dolly Parton. She's getting up there, and it's definitely going to happen in my lifetime. I'm going to cry like a banshee the day it does, though. Michael J. Fox. I am a huge Back to the Future fan. I mean, yeah, even Christopher Lloyd, when he passes, God. I cried when Olivia Newton-John died. I don't want to think about David Gilmour dying. Elton John. Yeah, I think I'll be a little bit moved. Morgan Freeman. It will be heartbreaking, but he will just go back to his regular job of being God, so I don't know. Maggie Smith. She's been around for so long, like my lord. Jack Black. He's only 53, so hopefully that is a long way out. Knocks on wood. Dave Grohl. The tribute concert will be amazing, though. Ugh, the thought of this breaks me. Have you ever listened to a person talk for less than a minute and know you weren't going to get along with that person? What did they say? They talk negatively about someone else in a very judgy way. There was this mom in my daughter's school who seemed to know everyone. She talked to me and she spoke so bad about these people. Then, moments later, I saw her interacting in a friendly way with those she was judging. My eyes rolled so much I could see my brain telling me not to get involved with her. And I was right, because by the time school year ends, her friends hated her and they were talking behind her back too. The safest option is to just not talk behind people's backs. Years ago, me and my ex-husband went to see a movie with an older colleague of his. Before the movie, we had dinner at like a chain restaurant / steakhouse type place. Staff on the floor was all 20-ish. I never met this man before, but in the first few minutes of sitting down and looking at the menu, he very confidently told us how he came there a lot and flirted with the female staff because they loved the attention. The best part? His daughter worked there. All I could think was how I would literally cringe myself through the floor if I was 20 and my 50-year-old dad came into my place of work and perved on my coworkers because he didn't understand that they only put up with him because they are paid to do so. Looks like we know who's going to the retirement home. I was in a job interview once and the manager cut me off mid-sentence to jump to a weird conclusion. Him, what do you think the performance of this algorithm would be? Me, oh, it'll be N times. Him, oh, you think it's going to be N? You think it'll be N? That's ridiculous. There's no way it would just be N. Me, you gotta let me finish speaking. He then cut me off mid-sentence twice more during our conversation. We didn't get along. Dude was a total tool. There are different levels to being a psychic. I'm on the purple level, so I can talk to the dead, said a new employee at my previous job. Nope. I don't know if they're terrible, but they're weird. I was listening to the Nexium podcast and the clip of the founder saying he has 225 IQ. If I walked into a room and heard someone say that, I'd walk right back out. It's mostly interesting since IQ literally means nothing anymore. I know I'm not supposed to ask, but I need to know. It's not for work or anything. What religion are you? HR manager? HR or not, they don't get to ask you that question, I don't think. Was a customer at work. Naturally, I wouldn't be friends. But even in a setting where we could become friends, it wasn't happening. I came up to her to see if she had any questions about our critters. I work in a pet store, and the very first thing she asked was if parakeets could talk because she wanted to teach them racial slurs. Biggest nope of my life. Imagine trying to explain to someone why your bird is racist. That's actually a pretty easy explanation. Oh yeah, my bird, it's racist because I made him that way. The new neighbor who, after introducing himself, pointed to his chest and says, "Instant asshole, just add beer." That's what the family says. Nah, we're not gonna be neighbor pals. F you, Irv. You were an asshole even without beer. When people claim to be an a-hole, believe them. Some people might say I'm an a-hole, but I just tell it how it is. 99% chance they are an a-hole that I don't want to be around. You don't scare me. Wasn't trying to scare you in the slightest. What tastes good both hot and cold? Brownies? Hell yeah. I mean, it probably depends on what kind of brownie it is, because if it's cold, it could be rock hard and yikes. Sandwiches? I do opt for more hot sandwiches, because a cold sandwich doesn't always hit. Revenge? I hear it is best served cold. It really comes down to your preference. Chocolate chip cookies? Alright, so most baked goods are good hot and cold. Cheese? Hot cheese? Oh, I guess if you're talking like fondue, nacho cheese, yeah, I get it. Cake. I will say a hot cake doesn't... Oh wait, pancakes. Oh my god. Banh mi. I have no clue if I said that right or what it is. Donut. Now cold donuts, are we talking room temperature or like fridging it? Apple cider. I don't think I've actually had hot apple cider, so I'm gonna have to try that. Chocolate milk. That's kind of cheating because when you make it hot, then it's hot chocolate. Tea. It is better hot, but iced is pretty good. Who is the most overrated musician? As a Nickelback fan, I have nothing to worry about reading this. DJ Khaled. Is he overrated? Do people still talk about DJ Khaled? I scrolled so far and didn't see Adam Levine. He is such an effing tool. Literally made one good album, in my opinion, with Maroon 5. Songs About Jane was fantastic, but I can't escape his suckage. His very existence is just irritating. Yeah, and after those DMs, I don't think he'll ever recover. Apparently, people really don't like Drake. I mean, his music's okay, but the guy is so strange. Mozart. He did nothing since 1791. He's really just coasting off those royalties, am I right? This is the most Reddit thread ever. Thank you for your contribution, I guess. Time for Reddit's daily I don't like Beyonce and Drake post. Don't forget DJ Khaled, as if he's anybody's favorite musician, lol. Kid Rock. I don't care what he's rated. It's better than he deserves. If the worst music ever recorded were stuffed in a trash bag, Kid Rock would be the liquid that leaks out on the kitchen floor. I don't like Kid Rock, but this person sounds like they have a real vendetta against Kid Rock. Jennifer Lopez. Honestly, haven't heard any of her music in so long, so I forget she's a musician. Beyonce. Don't get me wrong, she's good, but I don't understand the godlike status she's achieved. I'd say it kind of falls in a similar category of how we have like BTS stans or just stan culture in general. According to you, who was the best guitarist in the world? Guitar George. He knows all the chords. My personal favorite is Eddie Hazel. Hendrix. Maybe not the best technically, but damn, he played with soul. Different genres. Hard to pick just one. That is kind of true. A lot of different genres use the instruments very differently, so it's hard to determine who's the best. Eddie Van Halen. R.I.P. baby. You are OP. Believe in yourself. Thanks, Mom. Prince. I gotta say B.B. King. A lot of people can play guitar, but few can really make it sing. Even fewer can do only that for 3 hours straight and keep people entertained the entire time. My top 5. Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Brian May, Prince. Really covered all the bases there, huh? What cover song is actually better than the original? Respect Song by Aretha Franklin, originally by Otis Redding. Where Did You Sleep Last Night off Nirvana's Unplugged album. It's an old song. Leadbelly did it way back in the 1920s. I find the Nirvana version to be haunting and beautiful, all along the Watchtower for sure. The original Dylan version is nowhere close to Hendrix. I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett, original by British band The Arrows in the 1970s. Soft Cell, Tainted Love. Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler, cover by Fairy Godmother. C minor, put it in C minor. They didn't have to go that hard, but they did. Black Magic Woman by Santana. No disrespect to Peter Green. House of the Rising Sun, The Animals, original by Tom Clarence and Gwen Foster. Okay, people really gotta start using punctuation because I'm getting lost in some of these sentences. Natalie Imbruglia's version of Torn. Who destroyed their entire life by making one mistake? I'd probably say the guy who was dealing with the demon core, and by one guy I mean many. I once worked as a personal assistant for a person who broke his neck due to diving into snow that was a little too hard. Boban Jankovic, basketball player, copied from Wikipedia. Jankovic thought he scored a basket on a drive to the hoop while being guarded by the other team's player, that name. However, the referee, that name, called an offensive foul on him. It was Jankovic's 5th foul of the game, which meant that he had fouled out. In reaction to what he believed was a bad call at a crucial moment of a very important playoff game, Jankovic slammed his head hard against the padded concrete goalpost. He permanently damaged his spinal cord and was unable to walk for the rest of his life. I mean, I guess a lesson here is even if you're angry and upset, do not hurt yourself at all or hit yourself anywhere. Andreas Escobar, respected football player, made the mistake of scoring an own goal in an important World Cup game. Went back to his home country and got murdered for it as revenge for costing some dudes a bunch of money on football bets. People take sports way too seriously, like my lord, people. Richard Jewell, the security guard who found the pipe bomb at the Atlanta Olympics. The media and law enforcement absolutely ruined that guy's life, accusing him as the bomber. He was just doing his job and did it well, And as a congratulations, he got publicly smeared for years. Me, union job and delegate thereof, and I was on a promotion path. I started a fight. Understandably, I got managed out. My arrogance and hubris cost me. I mean, hey, at least you're owning up to it. You know it was a mistake you made. Michael Richards. His IMDb page looks like he died in 2006. That guy that brought prescription drugs into Russia without checking if it was legal there and got arrested. That dude who was just messing around with the demon core with a screwdriver. Just one slip up of the screwdriver, a flash of blue light, and just like that, his body was goop within 9 days from the radiation poisoning. Yeah, see, exactly, that's what I was talking about. If you don't know what the demon core is, do a quick little research, it's awful. The woman dubbed the Central Park Karen. For the past 3 years, she's essentially been living in hiding. She moves whenever someone realizes who she is and lives in constant fear that she'll be rediscovered. Kind of deserved, at least if I'm thinking of the right one. A well-known chiropractor in my area took the boat out for the day with his family in the Columbia River, decided to take a dive in off the boat and broke his neck on the sandbar, paralyzed him for the rest of his life. The Columbia River is known for severe shallow spots. This was a great shock to the community. For someone in spine care to dive into a shallow river, that's definitely got some irony in it, right? What gets you out of bed in the morning? The sound of my dog dry heaving downstairs. Never have I woken up so fast just hearing the start of that sound, Sorry if anybody's emetophobic, that's probably not great for you. People depend on me. Are you Batman? Not wanting to get fired? Yeah, that and my bladder. The simple fact that one day I won't. That's deep and dark. I love it. My 2-year-old runs into our bedroom and says, Uma, Appa, wake up. Come on, let's go. Appa, I want food. Edit. Uma means mom in Korean. Appa means dad in Korean. I'm the Appa in this case. Appa, yip yip. Weirdly, I saw that coming. And no, it's not just because I'm reading it. I love drinking coffee in the mornings. It's a little pleasure of life that I can't explain. Knowing my crush is at school. Aw, we got a little lover over here. My legs. Well, you're technically not wrong. To see what happens next. That's all anybody should get up for. What is the most human name you have ever heard a dog be called? One time I worked with a woman who would talk about Phil, who I assumed was her husband/partner. Phil and I watched a movie last night. Phil and I went on the best walk this morning. Phil and I are going out of town this weekend. We worked together for 2 years before she said, when I took Phil out this morning, he started chasing a squirrel. And after giving her the weirdest look, she said, that's a normal thing for dogs to do. And I almost peed my pants from laughing as I realized that the whole time she wasn't referring an actual human being, but a freaking dog named Phil. When I got my dog from the shelter, her name was Irene. Who the hell names their pug/Boston Terrier/mutt a name reserved for a woman in accounts payable? Yorkie named Susan. That sentence feels like a book title or like a TV show title. My friend Jason named his dog Jason. Oh, that's not gonna be confusing. Named my old basset hound Steve Jessica. It's just weird. It was an Italian greyhound. Kevin. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've heard turtles be called Kevin. Dave. Not David or Davey, just Dave. A guy I knew at school had a cat named Dave. He was going to call it Abdullah, but he couldn't spell it, so he went with Dave instead. Interesting choices he had. Eric. Yeah, sure, that is a human name. I used to see a Yorkie at the dog park named Tom Brady. You had to use his full name, or he would ignore you. Weirdly enough, I think Tom Brady does that as well. I met a beagle in the forest named Peter. Was it just a random dog? How did you find out its name? I'm lost here. Golden Retriever named Cody. LMAO. Yeah, but Golden Retrievers get real people names all the time, so it's not really a surprise. What's the kindest thing a stranger has ever done for you? I was in an incredibly abusive relationship and something brutal happened that made me realize I needed to leave or else I'd be dead. But I wasn't old enough to rent a car and didn't have enough money either way. A manager at the car rental agency actually drove his car to my apartment, helped me get as much out and into the car as possible, and then handed me the keys to his personal vehicle for free. He also gave me a map, it was 2005, and a charging cord for my phone. My ex had taken mine. This guy told me to take his car and get wherever I needed to go to be safe. That once I got there, just take his car to a rental agency and they would ensure it got back to him. He absolutely saved my life. W Car Rental Agency Manager. I can't see a normal person doing that for another person at all. I think about this a lot more than I should. I work later nights and was in between the middle of moving, so I had to get fast food a lot of the time after work because I didn't have the means to cook. One night I I stopped at McDonald's and there was only one car in front of me. She placed her order and went to the first window to pay, but this late at night and at this particular location, they would only use the second window to do everything. She sat there looking confused for a while, so I rolled down my window and said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but they only use the second window at this time." She replied with, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." I replied with, "It's not a problem at all, ma'am," and rolled my window back up. As she got her order and rolled away, I pulled forward and the McDonald's employee said she had paid for my order. It really affected me. As I pulled home, I sat in my car and cried for about 20 minutes over such a small act of kindness. It was the first time someone had done something like that to me in a long time, and I think about it all the time. And every time I do, I struggle to hold back tears. Never underestimate how small an action can be to you, but it could be huge for somebody else. Instead of the hot, kinky one-night stand I was after, the young woman I met at the bar got me talking and drinking, and then we got deep into the feels in a hotel room. She held me, arms around my head, her knees on either side of my hips, while I bawled my eyes out on her chest several weeks after my fiance left me. I finally slept the night through that night. She just held me all night. It was the healing balm I needed. I think about her all the time. She's seeing someone else now, though, and if he hurts her, I'll scatter his body parts across 4 states, and in such size they will be finding bones 100 years from now. She holds a special place with me. She's the one who told me to get my cat. I was going through a series of random panic attacks, public transport related, for a lengthy period of time. I lived in a reasonable sized town at the time, and after I had another attack, I went to the nearby shopping center. I couldn't calm down this time, so I went into a shoe shop, no reason, and asked the owner if I could just lie behind the bench for a bit, out of sight. The guy was so lovely, went off to get some water, came back, chatted away with me whilst I was hiding behind this bench until my anxiety started to settle. He was talking about his kid, who had anxiety, and he didn't care how long I needed to hide behind his shop. He was a nice guy. I didn't buy shoes from him though. I mean, you're not really obligated, so you didn't need that last part. I remember years ago, when I was a little kid obsessed with Pokemon, I was at a KB Toys and a man was trying to pick out something for his kid. He knew his kid loved Pokemon, but knew nothing about it. So he asked me, since he saw me with some cards, and I talked about how it worked and advised him to get some base set boosters. He bought me one in thanks, opened it up and got a Charizard, the rarest in the set. Tiny thing for him to do, but it's stuck with me since then. When I was 16, I lost my wallet. It had all my stuff in it, as well as money. Someone found it, at the arcade of course. It was 1988, and when they saw my name on my ID, they recognized my last name and took the wallet to where my mom worked. I guess they remembered my mother's name on her name tag. I was so upset. When I went to my mom's work, she saw me coming and held up my wallet. To this day, I still can't believe I got it back. Was at Toronto Airport waiting for a 4-hour layover. It got delayed another 2 hours pretty soon after arriving at said airport, so I decided to get some food/drink before my flight back to Europe. My card got declined everywhere, and I didn't know why, as it worked in US and there was defo money on my account. An older chap heard me curse my bank after trying to pay for a glass of water. He bought me some food and a beer, and we chatted for 2 hours. All he asked was that I pay it forward. It took me a few years, but I did. Still grateful to him. Hope he's doing well. I hope one day we get a part 2 to this story, cause I'm a little invested now. Saved me from drowning. I was a kid and had not had swim lessons, but my friends had. I jumped into the deep end because they did, and seemed fine. A teenager who saw me struggling jumped in and pulled me out just as my head went underwater. Not a total stranger, but someone who lives in my tower block gave me and my family £180 for no reason other than he got a back payment on his benefits, bearing in mind I work full time, and wanted us to have a nice Christmas. It blew my mind, man. What a nice guy. There was an old couple who owned a craft store back in the 90s. When I was 7, they used to give me scraps of different colored cardboards, paper, and ribbons because I like to make 3D pictures. I still think of that lovely couple often. I'm a barber and had a client run out without paying on Valentine's Day a few years ago. A kid was sitting in the lobby with his mom. They watched the whole thing happen. After the kid got his haircut, he tipped his barber, then came over and gave me a $10 bill and said this is for they guy who didn't pay. A newly pregnant and hormonal me started tearing up. What's the best TV theme song of all time? The A-Team. It's definitely a classic. Duh. Gilligan's Island, of course. I can honestly say I've never heard the Gilligan's Island theme. Doctor Who. Dun 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 dun. Ooh. I've also never watched Doctor Who, so if I butchered that theme, whoops. Dukes of Hazzard. That was a show? I thought it was only a movie. Golden Girls. Thank you for being a friend. That shit just makes you smile. South Park. I mean, if you got Primus to help with your theme song, you're clearly doing something right. Pokemon opening theme. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. DuckTales. You're all humming it now. No, I'm not. You don't know what I'm doing. Fresh Prince. Truly a masterful theme song. What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house? Dude casually blowtorched my computer monitor just to see how I'd react. I took away his lighter and body spray and said he could have them back when leaving. When we were kids, a new kid came to my house for lunch and an afternoon playdate. He refused to eat literally anything that could be prepared. Pasta, meat, fish, vegetables, etc. With the exception of a block of cheese. He desperately wanted a large block of cheese. He was given one, and he took one bite out of it and then left it there. After lunch, he laid down in the corridor for basically the entire afternoon. It was a strange affair. Kids are very bizarre. The weirdest thing a guest has done at my house was when I had some friends over for dinner and one of them started trying to juggle the dinner plates. It was like watching a circus act in my living room, and it definitely wasn't something I was expecting. Everyone else just kind of looked at each other in disbelief, but we all got a good laugh out of it. Was really expecting you to say they shattered all of your dinner plates, but hopefully that didn't happen. Made a pass at my wife. Was it a pass or fail? Definite fail. He both misjudged my wife and underestimated the reaction of his pregnant partner when she was informed of his attempt at a pass. I didn't have to do anything beyond open the door and disdainfully shake my head as he left like a dog with his tail between his legs. A couple that was staying with us for a few days rearranged our furniture and artwork while we were at our jobs. They were surprised when we returned home and were not approving of what they had done. When someone tells you to make yourself comfortable, it does not mean rearrange the entire house. Not that weird, but a mate of mine has broke our toilet 3 times on 3 separate visits. Well, broke it twice and blocked it once, to be fair. He said he needed to look up something on internet, so I lended him my laptop. He then proceeded to watch on my couch while I am 6 feet away from him. I took the laptop back. Hopefully you kicked him out too. That's a little strange. My sister-in-law took a bath, but then left the bath water in the tub in case anyone else wants to take a bath too. Hot. No, gross. Opened a box with a new bread maker I had purchased without asking and started making bread in the middle of a party. God, they sound like the kid who would take the birthday boy's presents and just start playing with them. Shat all over my parents' spare bedroom. For why? Oh my, ew. Dude almost took a crap in a bucket mid-living room. Farted on my foot. How does that happen? And why do you, what? What's your favorite thing about your body? Oh God, don't ask me that. My hips, they never lie. But do your milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard? Damn right, and they're better than yours. That it works fine and usually doesn't hurt. I won't be a model, but I know some people with chronic pain and I am lucky AF. Aesthetically, I have thin skin and very visible veins, like someone drew on me with a blue marker. It's not everybody's thing, but I like it. Probably my freckles. I have several and I feel it makes me unique. My hair, got it down to my waist. Oh my God, you've probably been growing it for years. That or your torso is really small. The simple fact that it can take me where I need to go. I love to hike, so I'm grateful I'm in good health and can go on adventures. I tried really hard to think of something. Couldn't. That's something I'm going to focus on from here out. I would like to appreciate my body more. Well, good luck to you. So am I. 6'6". Nuff said. I got a nice face and I like it. Simple and sweet. I like it. That most of it still works. It seems to function well without too many errors or defects. My skin. I have gorgeous brown skin. I wish I could be proud of my skin, but I have a lot of acne. Ugh. Which food is borderline not food? Squeeze cheese from a can. I still can't believe this stuff is being made. Like, do you enjoy eating cheese can? Edible gold. Yeah, you see the thing there, it's not really food at all. So I don't know. Fondant. Yeah, this isn't food either. It's just disgusting and cake makers need to stop using it. Salt. It's a rock. Well, yeah, actually. Circus peanuts. Orange foam insulation with genuine candy flavor. Shirataki noodles. Rubbery tubes with no flavor and almost zero nutritional value. But they will taste like whatever you cook them in. Margarine. I always heard when I was younger it's like an ingredient away from being plastic or something. Subway is questionable. I can never believe anybody when they say, oh, I love Subway's bread. It tastes like a soggy sock. What are you talking about? As a Yankee, American cheese. There is just something about American cheese, like it sucks, but it doesn't, you know? Spam. Lips and a-hole in food. I mean, hey, it's just trying to not be wasteful, you know? Cotton candy and rice cakes. Yeah, cotton candy isn't food, it is just sugar. A lot of Parmesan cheese is full of wood pulp. What's the most confidently stupid thing you've ever heard someone say? You can't be from Vietnam. Vietnam is a war. Oh, how the American education system just doesn't work. If Earth is spinning, why my front door is always facing east? Now hang on, he's onto something. A woman who I was once friends with told me she isn't voting for Hillary because all women her age have a messed up menopause brain. Interesting logic. I thought cold water boils faster than hot water. For some reason, people have told me that too, and I do not believe them. A religious person very patronizingly put their hands on my shoulders and asked with this tone of pity but caring whether I was stupid enough to actually believe the human race evolved from monkeys. You just have to walk away from that. There's really nothing you can do. Those two cities are 25 miles apart. Can you see a curve? This sounds like a trigonometry problem. That's a bit advanced for flat earthers. Talking to a lady about how gas prices have gone up and she countered with no they haven't. I asked if she looked at the prices when she pumped her gas and she said no, it depresses her. I don't think that's stupid. That's just like, you know, live in your own denial. Who cares? The other cars have to let you in when you merge onto the highway. The law makes them. My coworker on telling me basic road law. We gotta have like a checkup test to make sure you do know how to drive still. Isn't it crazy how God made buildings bigger than people? First and last date with her. The earth is only, insert year, years old. I do think that's funny when people just make things up. They like whatever. Yeah, the earth is like 6 years old. What's a good name for a cat? Chairman Meow. Okay, I do like that one. Schrodinger. Schrodinger the cat or Schrodinger's cat? Heathcliff. Okay, yeah. Dog. I absolutely would name a cat dog. Like, come on. Kirby. Why'd you eat that leaf? Wasabi. I named mine Sir Charles Bartholomew IV of Seymour. He responded to both Charles and Charlie. Galore. Strangely sounds like a Pokemon name, but worse. No, what is not a good name for a cat, says you. Doug. This just goes back to the dog question. Like, regular people names for animals, it's just always kind of weird. Xena. I like it. It's a little exotic. A little mad nobody said concrete. What is the worst last name for a doctor? Acula. Dr. Acula Okay, I see where you're going. My dad's doctor was, seriously, Dr. Coffin. I mean, that's a great name if you don't want people coming to your practice. I had a dentist named Dr. Fear. I was legit terrified. Again, great name to not get people to come to you. Dr. Pain. Feel good. Oh, you're guaranteed getting mad business. Whoopsie. It is a little strange how a name determines your, like, trust in a doctor, but I would not go to Dr. Whoopsie. Frankenstein. Hey, Frankenstein was a good doctor, alright? He just was a little weird. What movie really scared you? When I was really young, it was John Carpenter's The Thing, because my lord, that freaked me out. But recently, it was Barbarian. That movie, oh. The Descent. Do still want to watch this movie, but I kind of had some of it spoiled, so it might be ruined. The Thriller music video. Oh yeah, that thing scared the hell out of me. The Thing scared the ever-living shit out of me as a kid. Still holds up today. See, now they understand. Like, and it's surprising how well it still works today for causing fear. The Conjuring. When it first came out, it did freak me out, but the subsequent sequels kind of started losing it. Nightmare on Elm Street. Just the sheer idea of Freddy Krueger getting you in your dreams is really scary. Hereditary. That movie effed me up. Ugh, especially the car scene. The Grudge. Made me totally uncomfortable to be in darkly lit areas, as is the reason I keep LED lights on in my room to date. Shudder was also pretty damn terrifying. The most recent movie to scare me was probably Mama. It really didn't help that I watched it in theaters. Pet Sematary remake. I still ain't recover from that. The Exorcist. While I do say I'm a horror guy, I still haven't watched the original Exorcist. I know, throw me in jail. Flight 2012. That's a movie? I've never heard of it. Poltergeist. While today's standards, it doesn't really hold up, but some of the effects are really cool. What's the most hated fictional character of all time? Skylar White, I'm sure we'll see a few of those. I've never really been big into Harry Potter and have only watched most of the movies once, and I don't remember anything about this character, but I hear nothing but hatred for Dolores Umbridge. She's a despised character from everyone I have heard talk about her, LOL. It really helped that Imelda Staunton did an amazing job at just really making you hate her in those movies. That little girl with the red hair and glasses from Lilo and Stitch. I think my favorite part is Disney let Lilo actually just go insane on that girl by slapping, biting. It was so funny. Percy, Green Mile. Scrappy Doo. I hate that motherfucker. Whoa, calm down, dude. Mika from Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't really know much about Red Dead, so I'll ask my roommate about it later. Grandpa Joe. We can all say we hate Dolores Umbridge or Negan or even Caillou, and trust me, I hate that bald MF. But none of them stayed in bed for years and then sprung to life the moment he could visit a chocolate factory. To my knowledge, there's no Dolores Umbridge hate subreddit, or a Negan one, or even a Caillou one, but we all know there's one dedicated to hating that lazy old man. I see your point, but everybody wants to be Grandpa Joe, just staying in bed forever until something interesting happens. Grandpa Joe. Nah, he's my fave, haha. r/Grandpa Joe hate. My god, people, what is wrong with you? Jar Jar Binks. No clue how Lucas thought that he would be marketable for kids, cause even as a kid I was really annoyed by him. Cruella de Vil. I wasn't a big Dalmatians fan, so I don't have any personal hate towards her, other than, killing animals. Darla from Finding Nemo. Oh my god. What is a made-up issue that only terminally online people care about? YouTube drama. Don't forget Twitch streamer drama, or any e-celeb drama in general. The lives of influencers and celebrities. Because why do you care that much about someone else's life? So much pointless shit. I'm surrounded by them. Literally can't make peace. Ever. Cancel culture, being alpha male, thinking there's an LGBT agenda in everything, thinking masculinity is under attack, etc. So a lot of conservative stuff, got it? Whatever Gamergate is. Dog, you are so late to the party. Gamergate is not a thing anymore. Giving your game avatar a certain hairstyle. Is that an issue? I haven't seen that discourse, thank God. Getting canceled. I really hate the idea of cancellation. It means nothing. We've seen it do nothing for many people. Literally anything that trends on Twitter. The best advice I can give you is to log off Twitter for a couple days. It does massive psychic damage and you'll never recover. Alright, well, I gotta get going, and also if you were wondering why I sounded weird this whole episode, I'm sick, so sorry. Anyways, thank you all once again for watching. My name has been Brandon, and I will talk to you another day. Bye bye!